Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. A happy Thursday to you all. Happy June 1st to you all. Hopefully, you are enjoying your day today. Hopefully, you are having a good and productive one. We're jumping in with some Zero Base 1 today. If you haven't watched the Here I Am dance practice video from the last one that I did, quick explanation. I didn't watch Boys Planet. It's a show that I didn't really have a lot of interest in, not because like the members, but mainly just the culture around the show, and also just the fact that Mnet trainee survival shows really don't do it for me anymore. Like, I went through Produce 48 and I went through Produce 48 with a sheer curiosity, and I just didn't really find the experience all that pleasant for me. Having said that, I have enjoyed all the music that's come out of the show, or the various shows in the past, and all the groups that have come out of it. And those of you who are new around here, I have a cardinal rule, or one of my cardinal rules on the channel is that regardless of who the artist is, if I am able to get to it, I will listen or watch every single debut artist, and if not as many as I can. And with ZEROBASEONE, they're coming up to their debut pretty soon. We're getting all these dance practices kind of like build up into that debut, and it's only fair that I check out some ZEROBASEONE even if I didn't watch the show. So I won't know who the members are. I don't know what their strengths are, what their like kind of like progress through the show was like. All I know is I'm here to watch some ZEROBASEONE and some dance practice for the song Say My Name. I don't know if this is a cover, if this is going to be an original song for their debut, if this was a song they did on the show. I'm just here to enjoy some music. I'm here to enjoy new groups. So, here how we go. Once their actual debut comes around, I'll do a proper like K-profiles, like kind of read through to make sure I understand who, like what type of people made it into the final 9. But until then, I'm just gonna go in blind, enjoy some choreo, enjoy some music, and we'll talk about it at the end. So, here we go. I like the expanding choreo. It is an extremely bright song. Oh wow. Getting lots of that youthful playfulness in the choreo as well as in the music. I like that the footsteps are joining in with that syncopated rhythm there. We're going with more stacked choreo for this song compared to Here I Am. Very dynamic camera angles on this one as well. Lots of cute moments in the choreo. I'd like it. Have the choreo play around with the camera. With the dance practice, you can really hear how important the footsteps are with the beat of the song, because they're kind of acting as like the percussion part of the song, and they've been really on point with the rhythm, so shout out. Flex that high note, King. I get a little individuality moments as well. There's like brief sections where each member is doing their own choreo, and then the next sequence of moves are all together. Okay, ZB1, ZEROBASEONE, okay. Off the rip, the song? Ooh, that is a tasty song. I don't know what it is, if this is going to be like the trend of this season's like boy group releases or not, but ZEROBASEONE's Say My Name, all 3 songs from Boy Next Door, The Wind, and their title track Island. There have been some like debuting boy groups recently that have been really bringing this youthful, upbeat boy music, like boy group music. And I am loving it. It's so fun. It's so happy. It's kind of cute. And this type of music, especially from the boy group side of the industry, is something that I feel like we don't really get anymore. Like, I feel like most groups nowadays are kind of going for that more aggressive sound, which I don't have a problem with. I like an aggressive boy group song as much as the next person does. But this kind of like cutesy, youthful, like teen boy pop music is something that I will always have a soft spot for. And I'm glad that ZEROBASEONE are kind of bringing that type of sound to it. Now, don't get me wrong, I reckon they could pull off a really aggressive sound, but I'm glad that they're showing that they can also do this kind of like softer, more youthful sound as well. So already off the rip, I love the song. But the choreo, very different from Here I Am. Like, it's actually, Here I Am's right here, but with Here I Am, I don't know if it's because it was, again, I don't know if I'm 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure Here I Am was the signal song for the show. Which, in terms of like the song style, it checks out considering like Oh Oh Oh, Nikoya, Nayana, like all the signal songs from the Produce series and Girls Planet 999 as well had that type of like sound signature to it. That's why I'm guessing. But with Say My Name, even from the choreo, it's very different. Say My Name very much has, in terms of like the choreo, it's very much more playful. It looks more fun, not just to watch, but to also like dance along to. There's a lot of cute elements where there's like groups that break apart from each other and sections where I mentioned earlier, but members are kind of free to do their own thing to a certain extent. So not everyone's doing the exact same moves. It doesn't feel like structured in a way. There's a nice lax freedom to it. And I quite like that. It very much fits the song. That playful nature of the song also bleeds into the choreo in that they're playing around with the camera a little bit more. And I think that's really cool because this is a dance practice where they're not using like a static camera up against the wall. They have the freedom to play around with the camera a little bit. And I reckon just that comfortableness they have of moving the camera around with their choreo, I think is going to be really cool to watch. It's going to open up a lot of opportunities, not just for stage performances, but for MVs as well. With Say My Name also, I'm getting a few more choreo moments where we've got members stacked on top of each other. So let's say there's 9 members, so you have 7 people in an M in the front and then 2 in the back. With Here I Am, we barely got that. I feel like we had maybe a couple moments at most where there were members on top of each other based off like the focal point of the camera. With Say My Name, there were more moments of it, but it didn't feel like members were on top of each other, and I think that's very smart. And this one with the choreo, it wasn't so much the case of just lots of contrast, like big to small, fast to slow, but it was lots of little movements that were meant to complement one another, not just complement the entire choreo. And I think that, again, it's that whole individuality of it is really cool to see. because it looks like they had a lot of fun filming this. Now, I should point out, I'm not a dancer in any way, so what I just spent the last like 6 minutes talking about could be completely wrong. I'm just saying it how I see it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, even though I didn't watch Boys Planet, I quite like what ZEROBASEONE are bringing to the table right now. And considering this is kind of like their pre-debut stage where they're slowly but surely building up that group chemistry, like even with, I'm gonna bring up IZ*ONE because they were like the last produce group that I like really honed in on. Like with Kepler, I got in a little bit late. With IZ*ONE, I've been following them from pre-debut, and so like watching ZEROBASEONE's pre-debut stuff, it kind of brings me back to that time. But it takes a couple songs or a couple releases, couple stages until you get that true kind of like on-stage chemistry locked down within the group. And IZ*ONE had 12, so that was a lot of people going on with it. ZEROBASEONE has 9 people, but watching the Say My Name dance practice very much is evident that there is already a good level of chemistry between the members, and that's going to be so important for their debut. As even though this is a practice, like this isn't like the perfection run of perfection runs that makes it to the final cut of an MV. There's already confidence in their movements. Sure, there's a little bit of like shyness in some members. I think that's natural. It's human personality. But in terms of once they get moving, like you see all the smiles on their faces and just the amount of playfulness in their movements. Like you can imitate a playful movement, but there's involuntary signals that the human body can't hide when it's like genuine happiness, and we saw that, I think, in this dance practice, and I'm really glad. This is a sign of that this group is going to be really close. So hopefully nothing out of the ordinary happens, because Lord knows what Mnet does, but Wake One, get Deish together. They get ZEROBASEONE the support they need for the debut, and I'm very much excited to see where they go. But that is it for me today. Thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. But that is it from me. One last request from me today. Let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking in with your friends and family, holding that door open for somebody, even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day today. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.